Okay, we're with Dr. Scott Cline, and Scott is both a petroleum engineer and a geologist, and many years working in the industry. Was retired and then moved back to this area and ended up getting involved in Marcellus Shale. So, Scott, tell us a little bit about your perspective on the Marcellus Shale and what it means for upstate New York.
Well, it's a tremendous opportunity. It's actually hard to believe that just 5 years ago in 2007 we thought we were in the midst of an energy shortage, running out of both natural gas and oil. And these technological advances that allowed us to get to the tightly held gas in the Marcellus has just been a revolution, a miraculous one, because it can not only give us job growth in upstate New York, which has been long suffering. We lost 50% of our population of Elmira and Binghamton since World War II. This is really a miracle for those folks, and that's where the Marcellus is going to be prospective.
Now, we're here at Dansville for one of the hearings on the New York State DEC SGIS, and there are a few protesters down the street from where we're standing right now who are super concerned about the safety of this. They acknowledge that there's an economic need, but they just don't believe it's safe. What's your perspective from having spent your entire career in this industry?
I've been involved in exploration drilling, both horizontally and vertically, fracture stimulating for 25 years in every kind of environment on the earth. And the regulations and the technology are unquestionably in place to safely develop the shale. In fact, it's much more preferable than vertical drilling. The surface expression of horizontal drilling, with our ability to reach out sometimes a mile or 2 miles horizontally from a single pad, really makes the surface disturbance very minimal. And we have the technology to protect the aquifers. There's no risk to any of this development except a surface spill, and we take great precautions to prevent that from happening.
Now, I've been to drill sites myself and have witnessed some of this with all the containment systems and closed loop systems and all these things. And tell us how the risk associated with what you just mentioned, compares to some of the other things we do routinely and don't even think about.
Oh, the well pad is a perfect example of the precautions we take. We have a stormwater protection plan, first of all, that goes into place to make sure that we don't have erosion from disturbing the surface. We stockpile the topsoil for use later. We completely line the pad with a liner so that if there is a small spill on the location, it's completely contained and protects the groundwater. We have secondary containment around all the fueling parts of the rig, and a berm completely surrounds the drill location. So it's extremely unlikely that any of the water, chemicals, or drilling things would ever escape that drill pad and would be completely contained.
It looks like Governor Cuomo has put New York State on a path to do this, perhaps out of economic necessity, but regardless of the motive, it appears we're on a track to get approval finally to do this. Is that how you see this? Or?
Well, I certainly hope we're on that path. I think unfortunately, I think what began as a genuine inquiry into the science and trying to update our regulations for drilling, which resulted in our first draft of the SGIS, was a good attempt. But I think it's now become mired and bogged down, and the DEC has been pressured politically, it appears to me, to insert unreasonable prohibitions and setbacks that are just not justified by science, including the scientific reports that the DEC has solicited themselves, and the EPA's Fate and Transport completely do not support these prohibited areas and setbacks.
I know there'll be some people testifying today that the setbacks and prohibitions are unreasonable, but still those people are going to be generally testifying on behalf of what's been done and the need to get moving. Is that how you see it? Or?
Yeah, I see. I mean, at this point, we just need to get going, and we would hope that we can work through these things in the future, although currently there's political pressure to even increase those setbacks beyond what they've already recommended, which is, could be disastrous. I mean, it's going to make the developable areas much less than the 85% that the DEC currently says it is. It's more like 40 or 50%. From my perspective, it makes a hodgepodge of
right,
which completely goes against the state's intent to efficiently and effectively develop our resources. It's just going to be hit and miss where our unit can be put together.
Well, let's hope we can resolve those problems going forward. And thank you, Scott, for the interview today. Appreciate it very much.
Sure.